I'm really happy to have you all today to chat about SEO, to chat about some interesting topics, some hidden topics, some secret topics, some CTR manipulation, and some traffic manipulation. I will teach you today quickly, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I used CTR manipulation to get super good rankings in France, but works in every geo, to be honest. And or recently again, I discovered a new trick that works super well. That's what I will give you for free today, and I hope will change your perspective on some SEO stuff. So just a little bit about me. I'm Leo. I'm a French guy. I used to work in gaming for 5+ years in the biggest companies in gaming affiliates. Now I'm alone. I'm doing my consulting alone. And I used to manage up to 20 people as a head of SEO, so quite a big team, quite big challenges, a lot of different geos worked on. I spent more than 500,000 euros, dollars on links, more than 300,000 words published. So might be small stuff for some of you, might be big for some others, depends on the scale that you're working. One of the specialties that I had, I think, is that to beat bigger competitors with small budgets. So I used to work with the underdogs really frequently, and to beat the biggest companies on high competitive keywords and stuff like that. So it was really one of my specialty, to be efficient with the money. And so that's why I try, I do a lot of research, I find good techniques, I apply them, and we end up having some really interesting stuff. Let's chat about CTR manipulation. CTR manipulation is really a team that is really frequent in SEO. A lot of people are really interested about it. I will tell you my experience, what I like, what I don't like, what I used to do, what still works now, etc. And I hope you will get some good knowledge out of it. So first, I know most of the people that I chat with about CTR manipulation, they do it with bots. Personally, I don't really like bots. I think that bots are really easy to spot. So you have the problem of IPs. Some people will tell me, yeah, but I have like residential proxies and everything. But it's quite hard to have like good proxies, good IPs, etc. You know, to not repeat them, to not have IPs from data centers, etc. So if you do CTR manipulation with bot, be careful. Try to have different IPs, etc. Most of the time, it's quite hard to have like super clean IPs. In terms of geographic location, even if you have like the good IPs, doesn't change that often that they are like, split on the whole geo that you try to manipulate, etc. It's quite hard to have like really consistent IPs, which are not always the same city, the same point, the same geo, etc., same data center. So in terms of geographic location as well, bots are a bit hard to manage. The click intervals, I know you can add some randomness in it, but most of the time, it's just like the randomness that you have code. So it's just like basic randomness. It's hard to be really random with CTR manipulation with both. You have like interval clicks, etc. In terms of query history, it's one of the biggest. You have really generally no accounts, Google account logged in. You have no history, no good history, etc. So I don't really advise bot manipulation. I know it works in some markets. Depending on the size of the markets and the quality of the IPs that you get and the quality of the phone. So generally it's farm phone that you get. Not that easy, to be honest, because you use the same phone as well. So you have like some built-in footprints that will stay. So that's the problem that I have with bots. But don't worry, I like micro-workers. I like humans, So what I do generally is that I use humans. The good part of humans is that they have Google accounts history. If you ask like any of you, to use Google Chrome and to search something, you have your Google account, which is logged in. You already have an history on your Google account, etc. So it looks like way more natural, You all have different phone model. So obviously this one is not spottable. And, we are human, we do mistakes, we're a bit random. So sometimes we just like do not exactly what we're supposed to do, or we type at a random pace, etc. So this randomness, I think that makes it really harder for Google to spot it, that we're doing manipulation. That's why I prefer humans. But humans have problems as well, There is challenge. So first, there is now a lot of platforms right now where you can get humans to do stuff and to pay them to do that, or to not pay them immediately. But just asking people to do some tasks, you need to have a good platform of people, and if you need them to do something really cheap and not really good, like searching online casino again and again and again and clicking stuff. It's not really appealing. So people don't really do it generally. So that's why I will find you good techniques and good platform that still works. To get geo-specific traffic is quite hard. So for example, most of you most probably know microworkers.com, which is the biggest platform for microworking. But the issue you will get on microworkers.com is that, for example, for France, you have only 20 people there. So you can do really decent manipulation with 20 people. If you go for US, you have more people. If you use Amazon Mechanical Turk, you will have some people as well. If you want to manipulate traffic in CTR in India, I think it's not that hard because there is a lot of Indian traffic. But for every geo, sometimes it's super hard to have good traffic. For example, you're in a small country like, I don't know, Netherlands. I think it's quite hard to have like good decent traffic in Netherlands, that people that will be paid 5 cents to do some manipulation, And there is some problem as well with people is that randomness, it was a good point, but it's always a bad one as well. Sometimes you are like, okay, that's good, let's create some, not control behavior, etc. But sometimes it just messes up the test that you're trying to do, You just don't click on the good results that you ask them. So you just give some good CTR to your competitors and some laziness as well. So sometimes the people, you ask them to do A, B, C, D, and they find a way to do A, D, and they're like, yes, that's good. I get the same results, but you want the process, you don't want the results, So that's the type of problem that you will have with microworkers as well. I still prefer them over bots. So I will tell you what I used to do on CTR manipulation back in time, and that was. So I discovered old microworking service in France. It was called Full Factory. I used it. And I use it a lot. So I started to use it. I started to realize, I can just ask two people to do some search, etc. It was not made for that initially. It was made for research, so for like AI classification, for example. But I use it for CTR manipulation. It works. It worked quite good, to be honest. I started to use it. Works well. So I was third back in time. I went first. Yes, I get my best keyword. We were making a ton of money. I was not because I was an employee, but my boss was. And so after I started to scale it a little bit, I started to propose it to some of the niches. So I was having this service. I was on Twitter. Who wants some CTR manipulation? And some French come to tell me, I want to try it. So I tried a lot of different services, lots of different niches, etc. I had several problems, obviously, so it doesn't work that well every time, It works well on mine, it doesn't work well on every SERP. Really depend on the SERP and the factors that are important for the SERP. And the problem that I had is that I abused it, I started to scale it. I was launching like 20, 30 campaigns a day on this platform, and the guy, I think there was nobody on this platform except me, So I was just like this guy, me only. On something that people are supposed to spend, 1-2 minutes to do a task, to be paid like €2, something like that. And I was proposing only 5-second task, paid like 5 cents, that was the minimum that I could do, and spamming it every day, like hundreds of people. So at some point, the people, they were not signing up on this platform for that, so they were a bit mad about me. They started to complain at the management. The management told me like, no, we told you, you're doing some shady stuff with the tasks are not interesting, people are complaining, we cut you. And so they told me, I get banned because of abusing the term of use. And now anyone that tried to log on this platform and to do that, they cut their account immediately. So I advise you to not do it, but that's what I used to do and worked well. But I have a technique that works now for you. So you can take a picture of that because that's quite good. You can go on Upwork, for example, and you search for, imagine that you're English speaking, you go in UK, and you want to rank in UK for online casino. You will tell them, I search copywriters, and you will put one interview question. This interview question is like search online casino on your phone, and click on the site XYZ, so your site, and edit the content of the page, and tell me like, a few improvements that you can do on the page. So what will happen? The guy, and after what you do, you go on Upwork. So on Upwork, you can search by geolocation. So you can check people. You check people in the UK. You have like 25 invites a day. You invite 25 people from the UK. You do that every day. You rinse and repeat. What will happen is that some people from the UK, they will be interested because they want the job, So there is the carrot. And they will search. they will go into it, they will check, you know, they will do some good improvements, possibilities on the content, so take that as well, you know, that's like a double win. And you have the good CTR as well. So that's really good, works still well, works in almost any geo that are covered by Upwork, so it's quite good. You will still have some problem with that, however. The full problem is that it's quite hard to scale, you know, you have only 25 invites a day on Upwork. If you spam too much, Upwork, they will ban you as well. They will tell you like, man, you open some stuff every day, and you never hire anybody. So my advice will be hire sometimes somebody to do a small job, so you will get like, you know, not that spam score so high. In terms of geographic, even if Upwork cover a lot of geos and a lot of people, if you try to, for example, to manipulate something in a really small English-speaking countries, it will be quite hard to find a lot of freelancers providing services in that countries because you will get spammed by all of the geos as well. So it will be a bit complex, especially if you're in English-speaking. If you go for like some country-specific, language-specific, it will be easier, to be honest. In terms of the risk of blocking, obviously, and low volume, the problem is that you will get like 20, 30 people a day, you know, easily. But to get to 100 people a day, for example, it's harder. But the good point is that volume are not that high. So even with 30 people a day, if you get it every day, it's already quite good, you know. You have already quite a way higher CTR than most of the people in your set. The few advice that I have as well, what you can do is that change as well, switch a bit the job title that you're searching. You know, one day you're searching a copywriter, day after search a developer that will find, I don't know, security hack in your stuff. So the good point is that you will have different signals every time, different behavior every time. You can ask a content manager, you can ask an SEO, you can ask anything, you know. The only point is that they have to go through this process. So they search, they find it, and more time they spend on your site, better it is. So yeah, just, you know, enjoy it, change, switch, create some variety, diversity. It's quite good, works well. But now, all these flows, you know, that we used to have, we can cover them with a new technique that I discovered meanwhile. So that was like 1.5 years ago that I discovered CTR manipulation, get good results with it. And after that, I was like, man, like French people, they discover new techniques. That is crazily good, you know, but like crazily good. So I call that traffic manipulation. It's not traffic manipulation. It's way easier than that. You will see. The benefits of traffic manipulation, it works in it looks like it's too beautiful, you know, it works in every niches, it's scalable, it's easy, it's cheap, it's more powerful. Personally, I think that CTR manipulation, so I did a lot of tests with CTR and traffic manipulation. I think that traffic manipulation is the best in terms of efficiency. It works in, it's international, it works in every geos as well. So it's really good, it's really easy, plug and play, and you get crazy results. What does it work? Really simply, the Google leaks explained that, so I was quite happy when so we discovered that a bit before the Google leaks, like I would say 6 months before, and the Google leaks after they confirmed that, you know. So it was, this factor, so that was from the Search Engine Journal, article. The factor is like, you know, as much Chrome signals you get, as better it improves your site's ranking. So you're like, okay, so if I have a lot of signal and user on Chrome on my site, it will improve my ranking. And people are like, yeah, it's just easy, you know. You get Chrome signals, you get improved in rankings. I'm like, okay, that's possibly really easy to do. So I call that SEO's cocaine, because it's like super violent, super efficient, but there is some side effects as well, like cocaine, you know, and that's really good. I put pop ads in there because that's the one that I use the most. I tried it with other stuff recently, works well as well. So I will explain you how you do that. It's super easy. You know the pop-up, so it's quite easy. You're on a streaming website, you click, you have like hundreds pop-up. You're bored, but anyway, you close everything, you watch a movie. And we will use some pop under. So pop under is quite the same. So it goes under, so it's a bit cheaper, and the guy will not close it immediately. So you have more, like, you know, time views to repeatedly. Not really crazy. That's the cheapest traffic kind of that you can get on the web. So that's why we use it. So what we will do, really simply, you go to an ad platform. So for example, you have pop ads, pop cash, popular ads, and anything, your favorite ad networks, you know, anyway. And what do? you will just create a campaign where you will ask people, you will buy traffic, just that, on Chrome. And that's it, you will imitate and you emulate some direct traffic on your website on Chrome. The results are incredible. I will show you. So first, it's really quick. We're not used to that in SEO, but simply it takes more or less like 24 hours to see your campaign to be approved. So that's a bit the first point, And then what will happen is that you will start to get traffic and you will start to get a big increase in position. So you have like, at this moment, for example, we have like, I don't know, 3,000 people coming per day on Google Chrome on my URL. Rankings start to skyrocket, to have good rankings. What will happen is that when you cut it, two possibilities. Or you deserve your position a little bit, or you don't deserve it at all. If you don't deserve it at all, what will happen is that you will last like 6 hours, You just get the temporal boost because everybody was here. Google was like, oh, so much people coming to this site, I have to push it. So you push it. But after 6 hours, no more people, not interesting, you go down. Generally, what will happen is that you will last 48, 72 hours, because you still deserve it a little bit, You were here initially, so you still deserve it a little bit. You will stay on your position 48, 72 hours, and after you go down a little bit. Generally, you go back to your position. Sometimes you go back a bit higher than your position, so it really depends. And, but you might get it forever as well. I had a lot of stories of people like sending one push of traffic, 5,000 people one day, boom, they get increased. And after they stop and they never move again. So it was just like a win, Because Google, I think, discovered that the site was, worse. It was deserving this ranking. So it was like, yeah, the metrics of the people are really good, way better than any other people. And so the traffic stay, okay, position stay, really good. So they enjoy it for life for like $3 of traffic one day. So what is my test process? My test process personally is that every time I get an URL getting in, I don't know, top 20, top 30, so I start to see the feeling of this URL might get into it. I send one shot of traffic. When I mean one shot, it's like 2,000 to 5,000 people on one day on Google Chrome. That's more or less, I think, the good amount to send that create a really good stuff. You can have results with like only 50, 100, if you're really small queries, your site's not getting sort of some traffic. More you put, better results you get theoretically, but it starts to cost a bit more money, etc. And you have like already really good results with 3K, 4K. So I stay on that generally. And after, so I get my increase in rankings. I check how much time it lasts. So sometimes it will last like, I don't know, a few hours, sometimes it lasts days, etc. I check when the site is coming down. When it's coming down, I send again. And what I do generally is that because it lasts 2-3 days, I will program, like set up a push to be sent on every 3 days. So I have a push on Sunday because traffic is cheaper, and a push on like Wednesday or something like that. So that's like my 2 main days of push generally. It's a bit weird from Google's eyes, like you have like 5K people coming to your URL every 3 days. But you know what, anyway, it works, so I just enjoy it. So you will ask me, what is the dangers, because there is no SEO cocaine without any dangers. That's the risk, So yes, there is few risks, but the risk are quite minimal, to be honest. Sometimes it does weird things. So what I mean by that is that sometimes you will push a bit too much. Sometimes the URL will go live. You were 5, you go first, then you go 65, then you go second, then you go 4, and we're not really used to it as SEO, that the things are moving so quick, so fast, so crazily. So you're shocking Google, so Google is a bit in shock. Sometimes they move you out, they move you in, it does weird things. But at the end of the day, if you unplug everything, it will put you back at the same place. So that's a good point. There is always a reversal. That's not like penalty or shit like that. It's just like you're messing up with him, so he's messing up a bit with your rankings, but overall messing up in a good way. So that's the good point. So at worst, you will get back at your initial position, If you don't mess up with it on a too long term. If you abuse it on long term, such as cocaine, you will get issues, That's the main problem. So you will get withdrawal symptoms, What will happen is that when you will abuse it again and again. So imagine you send like 3,000 people a day, every day, on like 50 revel on your website. So it's like, that to be quite a lot of people, you know, like you're generating 100,000 people on your website every day. So you get good rankings, and after you see a bit drops, and good rankings and a bit drops, and good ranking and a bit drops. And so what could happen is that your site will drawn bit by bit, and initially perhaps you were 5, or I would say 7. You enjoy the top 3 position for like 6 months. After 6 months, you will start to slide. You go back to 7, where you're still sending traffic, and you're like, oh, wait, this traffic shit doesn't work that much anymore. So you try to increase the quantity, such as cocaine, quite a bad thing, and doesn't really work anymore. And after you go back to page 2, and you're like, but wait, initially I was, you know, position 7. What was happening? And so that's the problem. After a year of sending traffic, your site will start to drop. So my advice will be, use it, but use it wisely. Use it like, you know, few shots sometimes. You can on strategy page only, on every 3 days, but don't abuse it. If you abuse it, you will get, you know, drawn in the page to Google, which is a bad place to be, I advise you. One intuition that I got is that you can compensate the really high amount of traffic with good on-site signals. So for example, if you have like really good on-site signals, really good metrics, like a long time spent on page, a long, you know, good stuff overall, number of page views, page visits, which is really high, etc. If you get all the signals, for example, I don't know, you have an inside tool like your SaaS or something, and on your domain you have like a really good metrics. I think it can help to, you know, reduce the traffic, reduce the symptoms of abuse. So if we have something that's really natively have really good on-site signals, perhaps you can abuse it a bit more, but I still advise you to be slow with it. What are the few key to keep in mind when you're buying traffic for, you know, boost and CTR manipulation and boost manipulation, traffic manipulation? Blank referrer, that's the most important. So like that, thanks to blank referrer, it will be considered direct traffic, and Google will not see that you are buying traffic from an ad network. You will think that, oh, the guy just did a TV ad, you know, or there is just a viral stuff about this URL. So if you just put blank referrer, it works super well. If you don't put it, it will, you know, sometimes do weirder stuff and works way less. Another technique that we used to do as well is that you can publish your URL on Twitter, and you will get a t.co redirect. You can use this URL, the t.co redirect, to buy traffic on. So Google will see social media traffic. That's a good way to wash your traffic, to clean your traffic, so it looks better, you know. Chrome browser, obviously, I told you at the beginning, that's the most important. That's what the Google leaks learn us. So set up Chrome browser only traffic, and in terms of target country, set up the IPs on the country that you're targeting as well. So if you do that, normally it will work. What I'll propose you even is the first shot is on me. So scan me, send me a message, you know, set up a meeting, and I will send the first push of traffic. I know you will get addicted anyway, so that's good. The first is on me. That was a pleasure. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. That will be a pleasure for me.